as some of you will have already seen, I've been announced to be casting the APAC qualifiers for PGS 7 and 8, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown of some of the preparation that I'm putting into casting an event like this. Starting off with a visit to Twire, where we're going to say thank you very much to this man for keeping the website alive, where we're going to scroll down the page and grab all the information for the top 9 teams. Next, we head over to Google Drive and slap that information into our pre-made spreadsheets, and then take a moment to switch it to only keep the values. And one slight correction, given that Dongqi's 10 points deduction that made them miss the qualification was not taken into account for the Twire, so we'll be switching them out for 4-tanker and replacing their stats with the correct ones. Next up, back on Twire, we go to the team stats and filter by the map, and there's probably a quicker way of doing this, but for me, I just manually copy each team's points per map into the spreadsheet. So that's the points for 3 of the maps locked in, and just to speed things up a little bit, we can use a formula. All we have to do is take the total points and minus away the rest of the map scores, and Google Sheets will help us out by simply filling in the rest. Next up, we come over to this column where we're going to calculate the average points per game. All we have to do is press equals, select the cell before, and divide the total by the number of maps played. In this case, it's 8. And if you want to copy that for the rest of the cells, we just drag this down and then do the same for the other maps as well. Remembering that for Rondo and Tego, we're dividing by 4 instead of 8. Now, as we have for Buffalo here, we want to calculate the percentage of each team's points based on the map that they were playing. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure we format these cells as percentages, and then it's just as simple as dividing the number of points they got on that specific map by the number of points they got across the entire grand finals. And once again, we fill in the rest of the sheet, and there we have it. Quick and easy breakdown of all of the team's statistics and performances by map. We can use this to look for patterns like the fact that Buffalo Esports dominated on Erangel, or the fact that All Gamers Global had a pretty terrible time on Erangel, but their Tego games were unbelievable. Meanwhile, Windy Gaming on Miramar looks like a force to be reckoned with, but on Tego, they fall hilariously short. The next step is to repeat this process for each individual day of the competition, so I'm going to do that real quick and then show you the final step. All that information is now filled in, and as you can see, we have it broke down into PVS Finals Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, and Day 4. And we can use this to look for trends in our day-by-day data, such as Cerberus massively underperforming on Miramar in Day 3, but then turning around to be more successful on Day number 4. And now that we have all of our data in the table, we can make a comparison on the day-by-day performances, where we can look for patterns or perhaps specific outliers for some teams. For example, the fact that Windy Gaming picked up 40% of their overall points on Day 2 alone, with 50% of their placement points for the entire tournament coming from that day. Of course, all of this is simply based on results, but if we really want to break down why things happened the way that they did, we need to add context, which is something that if you are interested in, I might make another video on how I achieve that. But I'll leave it here for now because I still have to fill in these sheets for the Thailand series and Master series. I'm sure I don't need to tell you to tune into the APAC qualifiers starting on March 21st because